Hello everyone, it's David from Automotive Press. I have a really interesting video today for you guys because I have a guest speaker, Stephen Elmer, which all of you guys know as a truck king person. We both love trucks, we love Toyota stuff, and we're here to talk about what exactly?
Well, we're going to take a look at that Tundra Capstone and that Sequoia Capstone, and we'll go over all the differences and then probably answer the biggest question, which one would we actually buy?
Exactly. So let's go for it, guys. Welcome back. So we've got the two Capstone, the Tundra and Sequoia, both in same colors.
Yeah, that's
Steven,
a nice coincidence.
what do you think? What do you think? What about the styling?
You know what? When this Tundra dropped, I mean, as we especially heard it in the comments section, it was polarizing. People loved it or they hated it. And we felt like maybe more people didn't like it than did. Now, to me, to my eyeballs, it's an okay looking truck. It's grown on me. I feel like that always happens. Your first initial impression is like, wow, that's a bit radical. And now it's grown on me. I think it's good looking. I think it's tough looking.
Yeah,
I think that's what they're definitely going for. And then you go for Capstone and you get all the chrome, right? So the big chrome grille, the chrome kind of bumper insert down there. It does look a little more flashy than the rest of the lineup. And I'm happy too, though, that they came out with the style and they didn't take it over Sequoia exactly, right? There's a couple small differences going from the truck to the SUV, right?
Yeah, so as you know, I bought the 2020 Tundra, but in the TRD Pro version, and I got the same reaction. People not too crazy about the front end.
Yeah.
Compared to the Sequoia, which I think is, a little bit more subtle, right? Similar design, basically same headlight.
Yeah, different surround.
This part is smaller here.
Yeah.
Much more narrower, bigger bezel around here, and it just looks more subtle, a little bit more upscale, I think.
And it feels like it sits a little lower to the ground with the air dam and stuff too, whereas the Tundra's got that taller kind of, again, sort of strong feel to it.
Right,
so,
yeah. So I
different feels.
Would it be nice if we can take the Sequoia front end and stick it into Tundra down the road? We can maybe facelift time in 4 years, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you would pick which one would you pick?
I mean, just based on the way they look, I think I'm with you. I think I might go Sequoia as well. Right? Like they're both so similar, but like you said, this one feels a little more toned down. It's not quite as in your face, and that's okay. It doesn't have to always be screaming, "Hey, look at me!"
By the way, we're doing this kind of live stream style, so we're not scripting anything. We're just kind of sharing our comments and feeding.
Just talking trucks
as we go along the trucks here. So, but do you like the chrome stuff, Steven? I've never been crazy about chrome, but this one has even more chrome than the Tundra. This one at least has a black chrome and silver chrome, but this is almost all chrome.
I'm okay with it. I think what I'm more interested in is the fact that they didn't go more monochromatic, because the other brands did that. Ram recognized really quickly that a lot of people don't want it to be all chrome. So you can get those monochromatic looks, whereas Toyota kind of went, I would call this old school, where the top trim gets the most chrome.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm okay with it though. I think it looks.
But you know what? The other interesting stuff is this is obviously twin turbo V6 engine with a hybrid for both.
Sure.
And this is actual functional intake here, but look how much smaller it is in here.
Huh, that's interesting.
Right, there's something, actually that one goes in as well, so I guess they split into two.
Yeah, it's split into two, whereas that's one long one.
Yeah, I think this one looks better that way too. I think headlight is exactly the same.
The light is the same, it's the surround.
Yeah, but this is expensive to change, right? So they want to keep that as a common part. Yeah, so in terms of hood, it's a little bit different too, because this one has a bigger bulge here.
These I actually like. These I kind of, the big black pieces that the badges stick on, whereas these look out of place to me. It just looks so stuck on.
I don't know why they didn't carry this big one here over here.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one too.
And the hood is a little bit different, I think. No, maybe not.
No, I think they're the same.
The hood is exactly the same.
This one just sits a little higher, so it feels, I think, a little more butch. But this one's the same, I think.
So that's sort of our thinking about the front end. Let us know in the comments what you guys think, which one you liked better or not. We're gonna walk to the back now, or actually around the truck. So we'll if you can kind of follow us. Once again, we're kind of doing this live style.
Well, this is important, right? Because at the front end, you don't see a lot of differences. Obviously, at the back ends, there's a lot of differences, right? I mean, you get the Tundra, you're getting your pickup truck bed. There's a couple cool features here too. First one we'll show you. I think that's kind of cool, right? If you have your hands full, and that's great. I love the powered step. Yeah. And Toyota, they didn't have the step for the longest time, and you have to have one now. Everyone's got it. The powered step, maybe a little over-engineered, especially for Canadian winter times, right? But you know what? If it works, it's a great solution.
It's a Capstone. You have to have everything, right? Yeah. So my Tundra TRD Pro didn't have that. I can still push this to open it, but this thing is manual.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing is that Sequoia it's quite a bit shorter, right, Steven? Like it's something like 20 inches shorter
Absolutely.
than the Tundra, obviously, because one is a pickup truck, one is a SUV. It's really dirty here right now because this went off-roading. And for me, the biggest thing is because you have lots of acre in your home.
Sure.
I live in the Vancouver city. So driving the Tundra in downtown, trying to get into a parking lot and try to park is really hard.
Sure.
So I'm thinking maybe I should, sell my Tundra TRD Pro, buy the Sequoia TRD Pro, because I think it's 20 inches shorter, same width. It's also a little bit lower, right? What do you guys think? What do you think,
I mean, I think it comes down to whether you're hauling people or stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
It depends what you're doing. If you don't find anything in your truck bed very often, well, then I'd say the Sequoia probably makes more sense living in the city. I think you're
It's
right
also
about
more
that.
expensive, though. It's like several $1,000s more for the Sequoia than the Tundra. So that value thing, it's a little difficult to decipher because
that's
why
interesting.
should it cost that much more than a truck, right?
Just because there's more sheet metal up here, I don't know.
Do you like the back styling, though?
Yeah, I'm okay with the Sequoia. I do like the big Sequoia across the back, you know what I mean? Let people know what it is. And it's, again, I feel like this vehicle overall is less polarizing than the Tundra.
Definitely.
This doesn't look all that radical to me. It looks nice.
Now, the biggest thing, as most of you guys know, we lost the roll-down window on the Sequoia. So it's now just a flip-up.
With the flip-up,
No,
right?
so we can
Is it
push
this
that
guy?
button. And it's probably fine for most of you, but so many of you guys love
The
all
roll-down
things to do with
window.
roll-down windows.
Yeah,
we didn't
that's
lose
such
it
a
for
Toyota
Tundra,
thing, right?
So I don't know. I don't know what to say because it doesn't matter to me too much. I don't have a dog or pets that require this to be, rolling up and down.
Yeah.
Did you ever use it in any of your trucks?
Personally, no.
Not really?
Occasionally just to toss stuff in. But it's funny you mentioned dogs, because that's someone people always say to us. They're always like, when I have puppies, they're in the back, I open that, they can hang their heads out, I can give them food,
that's
whatever,
true.
give them air.
But you can drive with this up, I think, kind of. It's the same idea.
You're probably
right?
not supposed to, I
Maybe.
imagine.
I think, generally speaking, we're not supposed to drive with
the window down either, right?
Because the exhaust can come up and go back in there. But let's close this up for a second.
Sure.
So, what else? Anything else on the exterior stuff that you like or don't like? Oh, what about the wheels? Are different a little bit, right? They're both 22. Oh, actually, it's exactly the same.
I think they're the exact same. I was going to say.
Yeah.
I think they're the same.
They're both Bridgestone.
Yeah, they're both Bridgestone dualers as well. I guess it may be worth mentioning that the Sequoia we're looking at right here is a pre-production model. But
Yes.
it looks like most things are production
Mostly
ready.
production ready. So,
Yeah.
I mean, one advantage of Sequoia over Tundra is because Tundra has some teething issues in the beginning of the production.
Sure.
As many of you guys know.
They'll hammer all
but
that out.
the Sequoia I don't think had any turbocharger wastegate issues or reverse emblem D on my Tundra. Pro, if you
upside
haven't
down.
noticed it, on my Tundra the D was flipped upside down. Stuff like that probably wouldn't happen on Sequoia because they had a chance to sort things out with the Tundra. So that's one advantage. But big question is it worth paying that much more for Sequoia?
Yeah.
Let's hop inside for a bit
Sure.
and do a quick comparison and let's see which one looks better.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, so we hopped into the Capstone version of the Tundra first, which obviously has this luxurious leather and stuff. Do you like all this white leather though, Steven?
So the white leather in a pickup truck, I don't love. I do like it. I like the way it looks when it's clean, but I feel like if you own this and you do a little bit of work with it, it's going to get so dirty so quickly. However, I will say, one of my biggest takeaways driving this truck, and we've been in it quite a few times now too, it could have a Lexus badge on it, and I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. And I think maybe that's where Toyota's head was at, was, if we were to build a Lexus pickup, what would that look like? And I think we're looking at it right here, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is the Capstone, so it does look different, but it's a bit overkill, right? Do we need this in a truck? Supposedly a workhorse, these days no longer a workhorse anymore.
Sure.
And also, one thing is that you pay so much more for Capstone, but at the end of the day, aside from some stitching and a little bit of wood here, and the change
leather
of the color, I mean, it looks very similar to Platinum or Limited.
Sure.
So I don't know.
At the end of the day, they have to keep up, and if you look at what everyone else is doing, that's what all the other automakers are doing. So whether the market's there or not, I feel like Toyota felt pressured into, we need to step our luxury game up, right?
But the interesting thing is on the Sequoia, this front section is exactly the same,
identical.
Maybe there's like a minute differences, like engineering-wise, just to be able to fit something in.
Well, and these switches down here, they're in both, but there are different systems in each one. But besides that, they're very much the same.
But the biggest difference, of course, is the rear space. Obviously, Sequoia had 3 row. This one obviously only 2. And so that's one difference. And just the spacing is also different because on Sequoia, there's a bit of a compromise back seat, right? So should we
Yeah.
take a look at that?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, well, first of all, do we like the back seat of this one, the Tundra back seat?
Well, how about, you want me to jump in right
Yeah,
now?
let's jump in.
Yeah,
Let's
let's jump in and we can show it. Because same thing, I've spent a lot of time in the back seat of this Tundra when we drove from Vancouver up to the Arctic Ocean. And I'll show you the problem. So I fit in here, I stand at 6'2", but I only fit behind this hump that's here for the
right.
sunroof.
Yeah,
so if I
definitely.
start moving forward, I'm right into the roof there. And of course, if you're shorter than me, you might not have this issue. But then, and you can tell me, David, because you are shorter than me,
I am quite
you
a
don't
bit.
quite have the problem. But even still, don't you feel
But
like you're looking out
yeah.
the top of the windshield?
Because I'm also almost touching the roof, right?
Yeah.
And I'm only 5'8".
Yeah.
And I guess maybe it's a theater style approach.
That's exactly how it feels. You feel like you're sitting up, which I guess if you could truly see over the seat, but I feel like I'm looking straight into the roof. You're too high almost.
Yeah, I think so. I think the main reason is because of battery underneath.
Yeah, I believe
that
so.
they need extra space there, and which means we lost the storage space.
storage too,
but it's
yeah.
also a little bit higher. And then they also shrunk the rear legroom a bit, which is a bit surprising they did that.
Yeah.
Overall, it's still pretty roomy.
It is, I will say, right? It's still
but,
got enough legroom. This is
yeah.
more the issue up here.
This is definitely
you know?
issue,
And if you
so-
do get rid of the sunroof, and I've been in some without it, it helps
better?
because you don't
Yeah.
have the hump that comes quite as far back.
That's true.
But it doesn't help the how tall the
right?
seat is.
Now, what about the Sequoia? Let's take a look in the Sequoia, see
Yeah,
if
let's
it's
go jump in and see what
any
it's
better
like.
or different from here.
So, yes, sadly, Sequoia and Tundra for this generation, the rear seats got a little smaller. Oops, sorry, Ben, I'm just moving my stuff out of the way.
No problem. This is still a prototype, or they call it pre-production model. So the materials and quality is not quite up to the production standard, although it looks pretty close. You know, it's not much difference.
Yeah,
So we got the captain's chair here, which is nice.
yeah,
But
same
actually,
issue.
I think it's worse.
I think it is too. This feels like it's even further back, and I do not believe these are adjustable. No, see, these
No,
are fixed.
yeah, they're fixed, right?
And that's another thing in a lot of SUVs these days. The
Wow.
second row, you get a few inches of
You
adjustability.
can't sit normally on this.
No, I'd have to be reclined. That's nice. You can recline a bit.
That's true.
I could take a
But
nap
still,
here.
this is ridiculous, right? Actually,
Yeah.
for a full-size SUV.
Yeah, and again, you
So-
look at the trend in the industry. When Chevy brought out the new Tahoe and Ford brought out the new Expedition, they made them bigger.
Everything is bigger.
Bigger. Yeah, and sadly, Sequoia got a little smaller.
Right.
So
I guess the behind-the-scenes story is that they're trying to standardize the platform, TNGA-F platform, among all the models, including Land Cruiser, which is smaller, and they're squeezing some of these things.
Exactly.
And
I think if they had
Makes
their
sense,
way,
but
it probably would be bigger.
been
But like
bigger.
you said, they were constrained
Yeah.
by the platform.
No.
Should we try to jam
should we
ourselves
try
in
to,
the
yeah, I
third?
guess we can try to
All
fit in the
right.
third seat here.
This might be some comedy right here, folks.
We'll see if this works.
Well, that's all right. So those tumble up
At
real
least they
nice.
tumble pretty easily. Okay, so it's gonna be fun. As long as we don't have to sit here for like 5 hours.
Yeah, no road trips.
Okay,
Okay.
can we pull this back? Yeah.
So
Okay, actually, you know what?
I don't know how well you can see it.
better
I
than
have just
expected.
enough headroom.
That's true.
The bigger issue again is how tall the floor is, right?
Yeah,
How tall
so
your
you're
knees
not
are.
really sitting. It's like sitting on the floor, kind
Correct.
of, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But space-wise, actually, you know what? It's better than expected in some way.
yeah.
I don't know, but if you go to like Tahoe or Yukon, it's just so much roomier in the back.
Absolutely, yeah. You can, or you know, Wagoneer L. They just brought the long. That thing I can sit in the third row
Exactly. yeah.
easily.
It's so big.
So yeah, that's it
it's
definitely feels like
still-
a bit of a loss.
It's still definitely for kids or teenagers, young
And then-
teenagers and stuff.
And then the other thing is, look behind you. There's barely any storage
know,
back there.
there's no
So
storage.
once again, you're making a choice of use the third row for people or stuff, right? Because
Exactly.
you're not going to get a lot of both in.
And you know what most people don't talk about or don't realize is that you're so close to the back. If you got rear-ended, well, guess what?
That's another good
The
point.
car's going to hit right at you, right?
Sure.
So people don't realize that's the problem with the third seat type of SUV.
Yeah.
That's a little bit too tight. There's no safety space between you and whatever car that might hit you behind. So that's the problem.
Good point. One
So-
thing I will point out, because I'm a parent and I have little kids, the sunshades.
Oh, yeah,
And
that's
I like
helpful.
that they put the sunshades in the third row. A lot of people don't think
Okay,
about that
that's
for the
true.
third row, but when you got a baby seat back here and, you know, the sun's
But
coming
this
in their
also
face.
takes up a lot of space, right? This console.
It is bulky, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, like my
so-
knees resting on it right away, you know.
Interesting. Now, how easy is it to get out? Let's
Oh,
try.
let's figure it out. Well, those are pretty good,
it's
actually. They
not
tumble
bad.
pretty good.
It's not bad. And let us walk out.
This won't be
It's a bit of a struggle.
Oh! That's actually not too bad. Again, I'm a big guy, so I'm testing the limits of that seat.
You didn't fall down.
I could go in there for, you know, a ride down the road or
That's true.
10-minute ride across town.
For ice cream nearby.
Yeah, I think that would probably be okay.
Excellent. So at the end of the day, well, I mean, there are different prices, but which would you buy? I know one is a pickup truck, one is the SUV, and therefore it's not quite a fair comparison. But
Sure.
given just the freedom of choice, which one would you pick?
Yeah. You know, I think I would still stick with the Tundra. Maybe
Yeah,
that's the answer you expect from the truck guy. But yeah, just the how compromised that third row is, and even the second row, to me, just makes it less of a usable SUV. Whereas I still have the bed over here, good towing capacity, tons of power. So the Tundra to me fits its mission a little bit better, I think.
And you know, I think I'm with you. Like initially, I was thinking of selling the Tundra and buying the Sequoia. I have a deposit on the Sequoia, and actually allocation came through last week.
Nice.
They called me up and said, "Do you want it?" I said, "You know what? I think I'm gonna let it go." Because I'm not quite sure, I'm not convinced yet that I want the Sequoia with all the compromises. It looks better, it drives a little bit smoother, not much difference. But driving these two back to back, I realized they're so similar.
They really are.
So if I go to Sequoia, I lose the pickup bed, which is really functional for me for, like, you know, I go like to go fishing and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I think for now I'm going to keep the Tundra because it's a better value. Also, price is cheaper, and because it performs very similarly. Usually SUV version of a truck drives a little bit better, but in this case it's so similar, right? That I'm gonna stick with Tundra. Is that a good choice?
Yeah, I think so too. And now, of course, we need to hear from all you folks out there, right? Why don't you go down below and let us know which one of these two you would pick? Because, like you said, they're so similar, but there's enough differences that it's a tough choice, I think.
And if you think I should still sell the Tundra and buy the Sequoia, let me know in the comments below, because I still have an opportunity to do that at some point. I don't know if I will do that. Maybe I'll just wait and buy the new Foreigner that we've been talking about.
That would be good too.
Down the road.
What about Tacoma?
Or Tacoma. Either
you
is
go.
fun too. A lot of stuff coming up in Toyota. So I appreciate you guys. You know how much I love Steven here, because we both share the same passion for trucks and all things to do with Toyota. So please don't forget to visit his channel, Truck King. It's an amazing channel with so much insight information.
Thanks, man.
And then come and visit me at the same time. We'll be doing more of this later on.
Hopefully so.
I think at some point. So one of us is located a few thousand kilometers or miles away, so a lot harder to get together.
Of course.
But whenever we can, we will come together and share with you wisdom and insight about trucks and all things to do with Toyota. So
Heck yeah.
Thanks so much. Give us a thumbs up, make some comments, and subscribe if you can. We'll see you in the next video.
See you guys.